Okay. This is one of those. User requested review of a review. I like doing these because they're kind of fun and whimsical. Um, anyway, apparently koalas can't review cameras, and I actually like reviews like this one that I just saw, and I did watch it 3 times. The reason why I like them is because they're so inept and so ignorant and so malformed and done without forethought or insight or introspection. It actually makes me feel, because I'm pretty self-critical, it makes me feel so much better about every lens and camera that I review that I actually like watching reviews by really big YouTubers that are so horribly bad. They don't actually make me angry. They're inept. I watch it and I just think to myself, my God, I couldn't do a review that bad if I tried. Um, so I had a lot of people wanting me, and I don't watch other YouTube reviews. I don't. I really don't, unless like a lot of people email me. It's like, oh my God, you got to go see this. This is just crazy. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. So, and I'm going to use an English euphemism because English sayings are incredibly funny. The person that did this camera review of the GFX 50R that was uploaded today or yesterday, I think he was smacked off his tits. That's actually an English saying, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Smacked off your tits, which it just means you were like drunk or stoned when you were doing something. And a lot of really self-contradictory nonsense in the video. And the one thing that actually defines each and every one, absolutely every big YouTube photography channel, is not a single one of them used medium format back in the days of film. They didn't grow up with medium format. They haven't got a clue. It's like someone that's been driving race cars their entire life, right? And all of a sudden they're like, I want you to review this giant earth-moving bulldozer or dumpster truck. Yes, it gets maximum speeds 20 miles an hour, and it gets like 1 mile per gallon, and then you get in it and you realize it handles poorly, and it's just not fast, and you're like, oh my God. It does exactly what it's designed for. So koalas definitely can't review cameras. Let's actually do some exact quotes, because when actually somebody says something, subjective about a camera, like, I hate this camera. Well, that's perfectly valid because it's totally subjective. It's like, well, someone doesn't like something. Maybe you got little person hands, right? Or you've got some sort of issue like where you're a vision problem and you don't like looking through EVF viewfinders or something. That's perfectly valid. But when you make objective statements that are demonstrably insane, inaccurate, and just flat out stupid, then those are the ones that I like to quote. And I've used the hell out of this camera, and I'm not sponsored by Fujifilm, and I posted the receipt on my Instagram showing I paid full price for this camera, by the way, including all the lenses. The statement by the koala is that any kind of autofocus tracking, this camera falls to pieces. Well, let's examine that statement, Mr. Koala. And I remember you highly praised that horrible, now discontinued, junk piece of crap Hasselblad X1D camera that has startup issues, it has really, really bad autofocus problems, and it's just a turd muffin. So what exactly are you comparing the autofocus on the fastest autofocusing medium format camera on planet Earth? Not my opinion, fact, bar none. This is, along with its brother, the GFX 50S, which I also happen to... So when you say the autofocus tracking falls to pieces, what other medium format camera are you comparing it to? Because you can't be comparing it to another medium format camera. And it blows the balls right off the Hasselblad X1D, that buggy piece of crap camera. So what is it you're comparing it to? You're probably comparing it to a DSLR, which is incredibly stupid because medium format is not DSLR. None of these people actually grew up with medium format camera. They're trying to compare SUVs to like a sports roadsters. You know, the roadsters that, and I have a roadster, a BMW Z4 Roadster. My butt drags the pavement, sits really low to the ground, and I'm not gonna, and I also have an SUV. I have two cars. I have a RAV4 and a hot rod, a little BMW Z4. I would be an ignorant dumbass if all of a sudden I were to start a car review channel, and I was comparing my Toyota RAV4 to my BMW Z. Well, my RAV4, just it doesn't corner good. The center of gravity is, you just got to be a dumbass to want to compare. People would rip me apart if I were to compare my RAV4 to my Z4. And this is as equally stupid and inept and ignorant and dumb to compare a DSLR with a medium format camera. But this is still the fastest autofocusing medium format camera out there. So what the hell are you bitching about? What is it exactly that you're complaining about? And I said the worst ergonomics, you kept complaining about the ergonomics. And it is kind of shaped like a brick, right? It's also the most compact and lightweight medium format camera out there. And if you don't like, by the way, I've many countless days, I've packed this around all day long. This is a hand strap made for the XT1. You see, not even a single finger is touching this camera. I've packed this camera around all day long. Last time I used this camera in Fort Myers, it was an 8-hour walk. When I wanted to let go of the camera, I just, let my air get between my hand and the camera, let some air into my hand. Yeah, buy a grip, for God's sakes, or make one if you're a cheapskate. Now, if you've got enough money to buy a $4,500 camera, which is the cheapest medium format camera out there, you probably got another $50 to buy this damn grip, which, by the way, is the GB001 grip belt. So, bad ergos, buy a hand strap. Or if you don't like hand straps, then a black rapid sling. What the hell are you bitching about? Bid ergos. Oh, this is really difficult. You cradle the lens with your hand, depending on the size of the lens. You stick your hand on the camera. Oh my God, this is so horrible. Oh my God. Here's the funny thing. Here's the self-contradictory nonsense. And this is the same crap. And this is where one big YouTuber will copy-paste the same BS another big YouTuber said. I've heard a lot of people say this stupid nonsense. Hold on while I drink some coffee. This is genuine mule piss coffee. He said in the video, the koala says, wait a second, let me get a koala for you. There we go. The sensor's getting old. The technology's improved a lot since this sensor came out. You mean the exact same sensor that's in that junk, now discontinued crap, overpriced camera, the Hasselblad X1D? Same damn sensor. That camera sucked. Slow startup times, buggy issues, autofocus is horrible. You mean the same sensor that's in that camera? Now, let's be factual here. Let's be demonstrably objective. Has this sensor been around for a few years? It damn well has. It's in the Pentax 645Z. Hasselblad X1D, it's in the Mamiya Leaf Credo, which, by the way, is a $30,000 camera. This is $4,500. This is the lightest weight, most inexpensive, fastest autofocusing medium format camera on planet Earth, period! Okay? Let's make a statement about the old sensor. This sensor's old, mate! Now let me quote you what you said directly before and after that contradicts what you just said. Okay, the sensor's old, right? And I don't know what your definition of old is, but you really can't improve on perfection because the dynamic range is incredible, and so too is the output because you said that same thing. Let me quote you again. Image quality is higher on this camera than top DSLRs. So one breath you say that this is an old sensor, and in the next breath, your exact words are, the image quality, wait a minute, the image quality is higher on this than on top DSLRs. Which is true. Best image output currently Nikon D850. I have that camera. Yeah, the image quality, definitely the dynamic range is better on this camera than it is on a Nikon D850. So what? So old but still better than the best DSLR. So maybe that, yeah. So you're going to bitch about it being old, but then in the next breath you're going to say it's still better than the best current DSLR. So, what's your point? And here's another quote from you. So much detail, it's just a pleasure to shoot. Let me get rid of this koala. It makes me look a little bit amateurish. So much detail, it's just a pleasure to shoot. Oh, okay. Amazing image quality. This is what it's built for. But it doesn't have the versatility of a DSLR. And my SUV doesn't have the versatility for fast cornering of my BMW Z4. A giant earth-moving bulldozer doesn't have the versatility and cornering capabilities of an SUV either. It's designed to do one thing, move a ton of dirt, literally. Tons and tons of dirt. Still, and by the way, you say the autofocus, here's another quote. Any kind of autofocus tracking and this camera falls to pieces. Well, that's BS. The truth is that you rented this camera, you don't know how to use it, and I've posted countless picture examples of me capturing moderate action. What do I call moderate action? Talking about women on horses out of the horse park that are in gallop. They're going about 5 to 10 miles an hour, galloping on horses. I set an autofocus trap in single autofocus mode. And of course it depends on the lens too. The faster lenses like the 250, the new 100 to 200 millimeter. Yeah. My hit rate on those was just a high of 80%, and I've took hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shots of moderate action. This is what I call moderate action. You're not talking about skiers going over a slope, fast action. Moderate action, my hit rate is 80%, but you said the autofocus tracking falls to pieces. Well, that's because you're either A, lying, B, inept, or 3, you don't know how to use the camera, because that's a lie. Moderate action, my hit rate is 80%. So you obviously don't know what you're doing as far as the camera. That's not something that's subjective, like I hate this camera. Well, that's valid. You don't like it. Who cares? That's just a palpably inaccurate objective statement that is empirically incorrect. Yeah. Amazing image quality. You keep talking about how old the sensor is, but then you say it's better than the newest top DSLR, which is accurate. But you see, this sensor's so old, but it's still better than the best, newest DSLRs. Oh my god. Oh my god. Old sensor. Yeah. I'm actually not angry. People think that I'm angry in this review. You're just wrong, because I took these exact quotes off of watching that video 2 times, and it makes me feel good. It doesn't make me angry at all. It just makes me think, oh my god, I'm so much better than even I give myself credit for on the camera and lens reviews. Because you get self-critical because this is the internet and people love to piss and moan and freak out about anything you do or say. And it's like, well, why don't you post 6,000 videos on YouTube and, let's see how well you fare. But I actually feel good watching these videos because, wow, this video is it's so inept. And it's just so unintelligent that it actually makes me happy to watch a video like that, because I know my reviews are way better. And additionally, still, I don't have affiliate links, I'm glad that, Mr. Koala likes that horrible junk Hasselblad X1D better, even though it's a buggy By the way, that $10,000 Hasselblad X1D, not only was it selling poorly, but the GFX cameras were so much cheaper and made so much better. Also, too, here's something else he said in the video, which was just epic stupid BS. He said, oh, the lenses are really, he's holding the camera, he's like, but the lenses for this camera are really huge. It's medium format camera, for God's sakes. What the hell are you talking about? What do you mean that lenses are so huge? I've owned countless numbers of medium format cameras. Doesn't matter if it's film or digital, all medium format camera lenses are huge. Huge compared to what? There's my real question. That's going to be my motto. I'm going to start making t-shirts, but I'm not going to sell anything. Compared to what? Look at this lens. It's a 45 millimeter lens, a 35 millimeter equivalent. Let's take how big is this? This lens is smaller than most 35 millimeter lenses. Is this too big? It's neither big, nor is it heavy. So what the hell are you talking about? This lenses for this camera are huge. Compared to what, damn it? Compared to what? I mean, how can somebody have so many people listening to nonsense like that and believe it, and people say, oh, this is a really fair review. Really? What is exactly in it that you found, correct? Because I found like a dozen inaccuracies and, inherently contradictory statements that are just inept. Just palpably inept. Yes, this is a measuring beaker. I'm not angry at all. This really isn't a salty rant. I enjoyed the video. I got like a dozen emails. You gotta go watch this video. It's just so stupid. It just the statements in it are inaccurate. I'm like, oh, I gotta see this. Let me state before leaving you, in stating that who cares what you buy, whatever makes you happy, but this is the fastest autofocusing camera, medium format out there, bar none. It's the least expensive, it's incredibly lightweight, it's made in Japan, the build quality is incredible, and it doesn't have bugs in it like that junk, discontinued Hasselblad X1. They cut that camera price in half because not only did it have so many bugs, but everybody was buying GFXs instead of that junky Hasselblad X1D. The folks at Hasselblad's like, we got to slash this price in half. No one's buying this buggy camera. It's exactly what they did. Even with the price slashed in half, nobody wanted to buy that camera. Well, a few slightly less than very intelligent people did buy it, but yeah. Now, if I were into swindling people and posting up affiliate links so I could get the most money, you know, I would be praising junky cameras too. Like, hey, this expensive crap camera is wonderful. You should go out and buy it. Meaning the Hasselblad X1D. Anyway, that review was inept, inaccurate, and contained inherent contradictions. It was the condensation of ineptitude. But it made me happy, actually, because it made me feel so much better about my reviews because I would never do something, you know. I don't even drink, but I couldn't, like, get drunk and, like, make a review that was that inherently contradictory and inaccurate. You make up your own mind. You buy whatever makes you happy. It's the old sensor. And then in the next breath, he's like, yeah, but it still's got better output than any current DSLR. So what are you complaining about? The dynamic range is incredible. There's not a single person that hasn't looked like at a raw GFX file, like on a 27-inch 5K display iMac, and gone, damn, that's just amazing. Look at that. Because everybody does. Still better than any current DSLR, so yeah, give me some more crap about old sensor. The koala smashed off his tits.